So I grew up collecting vinyl and when I was younger and kind of got away from it for like 10, 12 years. I was mostly collecting pop punk stuff from like the 90s, kind of obscure labels like Mutant Pop and some of the Lookout stuff and things like that. So Lillington, Screeching Weasel, Beatnik Termites, Proms, a couple local Ohio bands. So got back into collecting vinyl and started buying a lot, and then decided that to fuel my collection I probably needed to do a little bit of selling as well, and kind of started doing that and started doing the record shows throughout the country. So I've done Austin, which is the largest one in the US, a few times, and Chicago, Indianapolis, Columbus, Cincinnati, so all the Midwestern ones for the most part.
Hey, what'd you find? Look at that.
That's kind of where it all started for me. So Mason, Ohio is basically the northernmost city in Cincinnati for the most part. We're right off of 71. So there is a lot of things to do in Mason. Mainly there's Kings Island, which is one of the better amusement parks in the country. There's also a tennis tournament that just finished up last week.
Anyone for tennis?
The Western and Southern Opens, so that brings a lot of people into the Mason area. Plus there's a lot of major businesses that have their national headquarters in here, like Centos and P&G. The downtown area, there's a lot of cool restaurants and bars and coffee shops and things like that, so it really brings a lot of people down to this area.
Nice game.
So there's a song called Hey Suburbia by a punk rock band called Screeching Weasel. It's one of my favorite songs by them, so that's kind of where the name came from. We were actually picking up a Two Cities Pizza, which is just down the road. One day, found this spot available. Well, this is the perfect location for this, so why not give it a shot? I felt like I was doing really well at the shows. I felt like we could build up a customer base and show people that stuff they've never seen before at a record store. That's kind of when I got into the Japanese pressings on it, and I was really kind of dumb luck. I had a contact in Japan and really knew nothing about Japanese pressings when I first started buying them and importing them in, and they really took off. And the more I learned about them, the more that it's like, hey, these are really cool and people dig them. I think it's just the attention to detail, like the quality of the materials they were using was superior to a lot of the US pressings and European pressings. Like even from the quality of the cardboard they were using for the covers were better. They do a lot of cool extra inserts, and sometimes you'll get some extra stickers and posters. And the vinyl, they're using all virgin vinyl back then, which a lot of the US and European pressings they were using recycled. So typically the quality is better, and they were paying 3 to 4 times more for a record than what US and Europeans were paying. So they typically took better care of their vinyl as well, from my experience. So it's those things that really make them unique and make them desirable, in my opinion. Yeah, so we do have a couple employees that are working for me at the moment. So they just started back up at school at UC, so we're trying to figure that all out.
I've been working in the record industry for, I don't know, since I was in middle school, and I originally worked at Everybody's, but working for Phil is a pleasure because dealing with Japanese pressings and stuff like that, usually I don't get to do. A lot of mostly heavy metal and hard rock t-shirts, but all vintage from the late 80s, early 90s. We have some Scorpions, Guns N' Roses, AC/DC, Motley Crue. Got a couple Hank t-shirts. This one's pretty cool. It's from the USS Constellation, San Diego, California. So yeah, we got quite a few over here, and we have some more on our other walls on the other side over there as well. But it's fun to have the vintage tees in, and everybody loves looking at them, and the art on them. They're pretty cool. I just invite everybody to check out my Facebook and Instagram posts. If you're not nearby, to check out. We're always posting videos. We put out cool stuff that we try to be a little different than most record stores, and we want people to, when they come in here, to be blown away and say, hey, I've never seen this before in a store. Never seen this in the wild, as people like to say, I guess. So that's kind of my thing. We like to be a little different and just kind of wow people with our selection.
coolest thing somebody's brought in to trade this year so far?
Clear vinyl Tool Undertow is probably the coolest record we've gotten into the store that was brought to me, and it didn't last no more than like an hour in the store and it was gone. So definitely the Tool Undertow for sure.